Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of Transfermarkt TV International. And the big story of the week has to be the return of José Mourinho. The special one back in action. Mo is back with the Tottenham Hotspur. After 5.5 rather successful years, Tottenham relieved manager Mauricio Pochettino from his duties last Tuesday. The 47-year-old guided the Spurs to 4 consecutive Champions League appearances and has never finished worse than 5th place in his time in the Premier League. Reaching the Champions League final this June was the biggest achievement internationally for the Northern London side since winning the UEFA Cup in 1984. But according to Spurs CEO Daniel Levy, a change was needed for the actual number 14 in the Premier League. He ended the tenure of the Argentine manager Pochettino, and then one day later, most surprisingly for everybody, Levy assigned the self-proclaimed special one, José Mourinho, as a successor for Mauricio Pochettino, citing the following: "In José, we have one of the most successful managers in football. He has a wealth of experience, can inspire teams, and is a great tactician. He has won honors at every club he has coached. We believe he will bring energy and belief to the dressing room." José Mourinho had been out of coaching since his dismissal at Manchester United in 2018, and of course he's also happy to have a new team with a great history. "I am excited to be joining a club with such a great heritage and such passionate supporters. The quality in both the squad and the academy excites me. Working with these players is what has attracted me." The 56 Portuguese has a history of spending a lot of money for players that he wants on his squad, which is quite a different approach than the one that Mauricio Pochettino has had, with spending less money and working with a smaller budget on the players he needed in his team. Mourinho, though, already addressed the first concerns of once again spending an enormous amount of money for transfers, saying that he likes the squad as it is. But of course, Mourinho is still Mourinho, as he answers a question about the future possible success of the Spurs.
We cannot win the Premier League this season. We can. I'm not saying we will do. We can win next season.
Even though Mourinho has had undoubtable success with his past teams, the move of the Spurs signing him surprised both the international and British media landscape. And contrary to his first statement that he doesn't need new players, the two-time Champions League winner has already presented a list of possible new signings, including 3 transfers he would like to complete in winter, as Wales Online reports. First of all, there is Gareth Bale, the 30-year-old Welsh right wing, who is not really a fan favorite with Real Madrid anymore, as we could lately see on his latest tweet, as he has his priorities set: Wales, golf, Madrid, in that order. It was quite a funny move, but Real supporters really did not like it that much. Gareth Bale has a market value that stands at 60 million euros, but Mourinho might convince his former team, Real, to release Bale on cheaper terms. Bale left Tottenham for Real in 2013, becoming the most expensive transfer in history back then, with 101 million euros. Number 2 on the list, Paulo Dybala from Juventus Torino. The 26-year-old Argentine was considered a transfer candidate in summer, but since then has improved significantly and now is a regular starter with the Italian champions. With 5 goals and 3 assists in Serie A and Champions League action, and also a contract with Juve that runs into summer 2022, Dybala's price tag most certainly will be higher than his market value of 75 million euros. And Mourinho's number number 3. And big to-do on the list is fellow Portuguese Bruno Fernandes. The Sporting Lisboa central midfielder is Europe's most dangerous goal-scoring midfielder with 8 marks and 6 assists in 14 League and Europa League games. The 25-year-old is the heart and soul of Sporting's game. Due to financial problems, the Portuguese side might consider a winter transfer for an amount that again would be considerably higher than the market value of Bruno Fernandes at 60 million euros. Just for the 3 mentioned candidates, new Spurs coach Mourinho will have to spend, and that is a modest estimate, at least 150 million euros on transfer fees in winter. That is 35 million euros more than Mauricio Pochettino was given for team improvements this summer after not spending a single penny in the whole 2018-19 season. Can this relationship between very thrifty Spurs CEO Levy and the biggest transfer money spender in history, Mourinho, who stands at more than 1.5 billion euros so far, work out? Just as a reminder for Tottenham's boss Levy, we'll now take a look at Mourinho's top 5 transfers, with 4 of them occurring at his last stop, Manchester United. We start the Mourinho signing list at number 5 with Andrei Shevchenko. The outstanding Ukrainian striker came into Mourinho's Chelsea team in 2006 for 43.88 million euros. At number 4, Nemanja Matic, the Serbian defensive midfielder, came in from Chelsea for 44.7 million euros. Quite disappointing, his tenure with Manchester United. Fred came in from Shakhtar Donetsk, 59 million euros. Romelu Lukaku was quite a success for Manchester United. He came in from Everton at 84.7 million euros. And of course, the most expensive transfer coming into a José Mourinho team so far, Paul Pogba, the French World Cup champion, at 105 million euros. He came in from Juventus into Manchester United's team. José Mourinho taking over the Spurs. It will be interesting to see how the different characters, Mourinho and Daniel Levy, will find a mutual way of working together. But there might be a way of each other moving into each other's direction, with the English media reporting that Levy has given his approval for winter and summer transfers, and as for the 56-year-old self-proclaimed special one Mourinho, that he considers the actual Spurs squad as strong enough for a turnaround in Premier League action, as Sky reports. As we start our category Rumour Mill, we stay a little bit with the Spurs, as in our first topic, Pep Guardiola's agent has rejected rumors of a possible return of Man City's manager back to Bayern Munich, as German newspapers recently reported. As Josep Maria Orotbik said, Pep is very satisfied and happy in Manchester. Guardiola always fulfills his contract. I deny all rumors. As the 45-year-old Guardiola is not an option for Bayern Munich, German Bild newspaper has first thoughts that Mauricio Pochettino might be interesting for Bayern, as Bayern's management allegedly has contacted a negotiator for Pochettino's services. And secondly, for new Spurs head coach José Mourinho, there is another transfer target, as the Telegraph has it. The new Portuguese head coach might be interested in a good former business partner. Zlatan Ibrahimovic already played for Mourinho with Inter and Manchester United and could be an adequate backup for Harry Kane. The 38-year-old Ibrahimovic had another stellar season with LA Galaxy, scoring 31 goals in as many league games. As his contract expires in the end of December, he could be a rather cheap addition to the Spurs squad. Besides Tottenham, Ibra's former club AC Milan has shown interest and has already talked in first little narrowing talks with his agent Mino Raiola. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang became Premier League top scorer last season with Arsenal. The 30-year-old Gabonian striker retained his good form since summer, recording 8 goals in 12 league outings. He recently became Ghana's captain, but might be leaving Emirates Stadium. As Spanish newspaper Sport reports, Barcelona is very much interested in signing Aubameyang as a successor for 32-year-old Luis Suarez, who might be moving on. Aubameyang's market value stands at 70 million euros. His contract with the Gunners runs into 2021. Besides Aubameyang, Barcelona has supposedly set eyes on Inter Milan striker Lautaro Martinez. The 22-year-old Argentine is only the number 2 star option behind Belgian superstar Lukaku, and according to Mundo Deportivo, is willing to move on. Martinez is under contract with Inter until June 2023. His transfer fee should be considerably higher than his last fee of 25 million euros that Inter paid to Racing Club de Avellaneda. Erling Haaland is the Champions League top goalscorer at 7. The 19-year-old Norwegian shooting star is linked to almost every European heavyweight, but is most likely to move from sister club Red Bull Salzburg to RB Leipzig. The get-out clause in Haaland's contract in Austria stands at 30 million euros, with Leipzig very much willing to pay this amount. The German Bundesliga, though, according to Haaland's father, the Norwegian international Alf Inge, is only the next step for his son before sooner or later moving on to his dream place, the Premier League in England. And once again, Neymar. The 27-year-old Brazilian striker rejected negotiations with PSG for a contract extension. After an ongoing discussion with a possible return to Barcelona looming in the near future, Neymar's termination of talks with Paris has to be another indicator for a timely departure of the 102-time Brazilian international. This season, Neymar, due to muscular problems, has only participated in 5 Ligue 1 games for Thomas Tuchel's side. We move on to the news, where Manchester City is delighted with great business numbers. The Premier League champion and FA Cup champion has posted a record revenue of £535 million and a profit of £10.1 million last year. According to the annual report of the club, revenue has grown for the 11th consecutive year, thus closing the gap to Premier League's richest team, Manchester United. A new lucrative kit deal with Puma at an estimated £45 million per year will most likely lead into another year of growth in revenue in 2020. And Championship side Barnsley FC appointed a new manager. The last place team in England's second tier relieved German coach Daniel Stendel in early October and found a successor in Austrian Gerhard Struber. The 42-year-old Struber signed a contract running into June 2022. He left his Austrian Bundesliga team Wolfsberger AC, even though he guided them to 3rd place in the league and a strong Europa League tenure with a 4-0 victory, for example, at Mönchengladbach. And that's it for this week's edition of Transfermarkt TV International, with Premier League action coming up, the Champions League next week, and Europa League. There's lots of stuff that we will have in our next edition next week. Hope to see you then. Bye-bye. Have a good one.